Hello there everyone, this is I am Mark 3 and welcome back to a little more idle time with main sequence. No, the blue planet hasn't suddenly turned red, it was always red, I don't know what you're talking about. No. But yes, welcome back to main sequence. I did hold off slightly on this episode just so that the update could be released into the main branch, and if there was anything game-breaking introduced with mass deployments, it would have a chance to get patched. But here we are now, things seem to be okay. We're on the experimental, and I had to restart the save as well, which is the other reason why I was kind of holding off. I played back to where we were though, basically. So I've got two stations, both of them are mining spots. But there are a few things that have shifted in this now compared to how it was before. One thing is there's now medium asteroids in the game, which are like a 2 to 4,000 resource each, and they are spread evenly around the place. There's now more large asteroids outside your starting zone, but density is slightly reduced, I believe, compared to how it was before overall. And the tech tree has been expanded, which is the other reason why we wanted to actually wait to get into this updated one before doing anything else. So, we're back where we were. Pretty much. We've got more resources, but I said I was going to do that last time anyway. And I think we're slightly behind on tech, but that's not a problem either. I'm currently configured for automatic material research. So, let's actually sort that out. Let's get silica refining. And then, because my plan is to actually get ship upgrades, let's do the important stuff. Let's get decorations, let's get the mining beam, and then, well, there's not really new exterior blocks for the ships, it looks like. But I might as well have a look through the tech tree while I'm here. Ship ladders. Oh, there's only a 4Q, okay. So, tech tree's been expanded slightly, like the industrial docks, I think, is... I don't remember that one from previously, but then again, I never really looked at it much. Hopefully it's a better one for automating what you can put into a ship, because the ships have to run on hydrogen fuel and all that stuff. But there are other things as well, like there's more tiers of logistics, there's actually an item elevator, which is something I noticed was not present previously. Also a big container, enrichment chamber for doing more processing, and warp fuel is now trickier to get at, because it requires a few other bits and bobs to get to it. So enriched fuel goes to warp fuel. Where's enriched fuel? I have no idea. But remember, I don't know what I'm doing in this one, really. There was something else I've been doing between this episode and the last one, was think about what kind of makes sense to do, really, because any space mining... yes, welcome to the Tangle, which is my initial base, complete with the research facility here. Any base is by nature temporary until it runs out of resources. Then it's going to just be scrapped out, which means how I think I want to play this, or how I should be playing this, is I can't build a thing to a certain pattern, so I have to accept like the basic starter platform, then upgrade it into what I want. But I could refit here with the designs that I've got in place. If I could build them flat out like that, that would be great, but apparently not. But yeah, something to upgrade this into with a lot more mining ports on it and the power supply would be the next goal, I think, in terms of that regard. But still, let's actually go ahead and gather some more resources, because we need to go and do things like actually, you know, get more mining going, pulling more titanium plates out of here. Over here we have a stash of silica. We've got stashes of fuel going on, and some more nickel plates would be a very good idea as well. I don't have automated refining or gathering of nickel plates. The only thing I've got automated right now is titanium, because this one had a medium asteroid with nearly 4,000 next to it. We're already down to 1,500, so yeah, this is steadily depleting. So that's why this is not a good spot. Let's think about looting some more hull plates. I've got some more hull plates in my ship as well. Let's go. This particular spot, by the way, has access to silica and water, and I think it's got nickel? Let's check it. Yeah, silica, water, and nickel mining spots nearby with big asteroids for each. And then my other station's got access to mainly to titanium. Let's go and undock, and I want to go to mine Beta. Which, as we can see, is about 7 kilometers over that way. So I think really a centrally located shipyard is how I want to do this, because since mines are going to be temporary, there's not much point in refining stuff on site unless I want to actually like have, you know, exports for each given product type and stuff like that. So I think logically what makes sense more than anything is just go ahead and have a central facility doing all the processing stuff, and that's also where my shipyard's going to be as well. There are some other asteroids around the place as well. Let's check my map. But as you can see from my positioning, they're not nearby, which means they are small, because this map view only gives large ones still. So I don't know. Let's go this way. We do, however, also still have comments from last time as well, as I almost fly into a rock. Don't mind me. Turn around. There we go. So, comments. Clint's asked me to keep the good stuff coming. Gotta love good game and chill play. Yeah, it's just a shame that multiplayer didn't work out for us on this one. Normal's given me a head pat. Thank you very much for that. I do like my head pats. Yes. Pat me more. Tell me I'm a good boy. Yes. Dama said, "Here I was thinking you could do all the refining and whatnot on your ship." Sadly, no. To be honest, games that let you do proper shipborne factory and processing setups are kind of few and far between. Normally, things like that are... Oops, I got into collision range of an asteroid. Games like that tend to have like refining stuff in a static location, and then ships tend to be more like transports, defenders, that kind of thing. I noticed. There's probably one that we used to play with, is a good example though, is Space Engineers, because that one does actually let you have mobile factories, ships and stuff. I think that's another medium asteroid there. I'm about to cruise past. Let's have a look, see. Yeah, 5,000 nickel. So the medium ones are actually kind of chunky. They look a bit like large ones, but the values are off. So they're actually sizable for how much ore they've got. And then the last one is from Yosemite Dan. I just catch him on Discord as well. But still, nice to see a comment from you. It's kind of rare that we hear from you, really. Good stuff. Highly recommend Experimental Branch. They're fair bit good stuff. They're not in basic. However, according to Dev, dropping a fairly significant update around the end of the month, which has since happened, as I said before. Before he takes a small vacation, that update is expected to require restarts, which is why we've restarted. This base, by the way, is in the same general condition, but I've not even outfitted this one for mining yet. Yeah, let's head on out. So maybe just fiddle around as for another week and to then decide. But I think we've already seen so far, I have decided and proceeded. So this one is configured for automatic refueling, but not for automatic mining. So let's go ahead and configure this one a little bit further. We will need those. This is actually going to be a high output mine. Though it's not going to be one I'm going to save a blueprint from because I've moved the dock on it. So, as I said, that's going to be something I need to adapt to. But I do plan to have this one actually working at a steady pace. Nearby ice yields are, I think, actually not that great either. Let's double check on that one. I think it's only a medium ice asteroid nearby. Let's check. No, we've got several mediums nearby actually, because that's 16,000. But we've got 2 large titanium mines, so this is my main titanium source at the moment. But processing everything here and splitting into individual things is going to be an absolute nightmare. So, that dock's gathering ice. I'm going to want to actually have this place able to have an additional ship dock in it for shipping out the titanium ore. Actually, no, I can refine the titanium here, can't I? And then that saves space on the actual thing, but then that's extra complexity on the mines versus complexity in the central station, so let's not do that. Let's put a dock here, followed by a couple of mining spots. Maybe I should actually just go ahead and build a shipyard here, because I have got spare parts with me to customize my ship a little bit and get things moving that way, but I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to do that when I'm actually on the actual new spot. So yeah, let's leave it like that. This right now. There's the export point. We've got 2 digging points. We've got expansion slots available to slot solar panels in to convert this thing to renewable power when we get the materials for that. And I want the rest of my materials back. Ooh, I almost spent all my hull panels in there, but there we go. And since it's just mining, that means I shouldn't need to actually bother too much with a robust power system either. So it's titanium. Start to mine, please. Off they go. Yeah, since this is pure titanium, I kind of went to like a black and silver kind of deco for this one. There we go. Though it would be remiss of me not to harvest the nearby silicon as well, wouldn't it? Silicon? Nickel. So for some reason I keep alternating between the two, I've noticed, when I'm thinking about this game. I don't know why. Let's just jam in the parts for an extra mining bay, which I will attach to the back of it. That was a rock going boom. I'm not under attack, do not worry. And then that, I'll just ask to scoop up all the nearby nickel for my own personal processing use. Filter for nickel. Off you go. And yeah, I'll probably have like I'll rig the mines to just like harvest up nearby resources in general, just so that I've got that stuff. And we'll see how that works out. There we go. Of course, now I've got to deal with this one as well. I still have a slight issue, which is going to be... Well, actually, something that might be good here is if I configured this one for helping with material research. But then that would go against my whole thing of like constantly trying to centralize everything. Though another good idea would have actually been to have both the mining sites on the other end there, so it's just like... Yeah, I've got open space here, but mainly for connection points more than anything else. Let's see, let's configure this one. I will rename this one to be titanium. Something I do need to check actually is, when I save a blueprint of a station to transfer, does it actually save the settings and internals as well, or is it just like the station module layout? But yeah, this will be the export. I don't want to load ships with fuel, which is why I'm wondering if I need the industrial site for it. And then that's just going to pick up like random minerals and things from around the place. And yeah, this is going to work. Next objective though, go out and found a new place, but I've got more research to do. Let's get the servo motors. I need to get the basic circuits as well. This will go really steadily. Actually, I wanted the ship ladder, didn't I? Yeah, because I wanted to get the ship customized first. So, do that, followed by that one, followed by that one. I'm not looking for the plasma lance because I think having something I can also do to supplement my income is like have a miner, but I've never actually tried anything beyond the basic ship weapon before. Something I will want, of course, is station module pieces too, since I'm also looking to establish my shipyard in this particular episode. Let's do that. Have to undock, and there we go. Something I think that goes against having mobile shipyards, like having your stations configured that way. Well, I'll make sense someday, I swear. Turn by 90 degrees. Something that goes against having a factory ship, I think, is the fact that they would just become a mobile sprawl, or become so big they're so really unwieldy. So I think ideally, for a game to really dig into that niche and have a mobile shipyard kind of thing going on, you need to have some kind of gameplay element which incentivizes you to not actually have all your stuff in one ship. Like there's some kind of restrictions on ship hulls, or if it's a thing that's, well, this is a game concept I've had for quite some time, but if it's something that, say you actually jump into an area, you can bring in stuff mounted in ships, or you can have it configured so that you build the stuff locally as well. The thing is, though, the game concept in question, the FTL system actually has a local resonance effect. Like it causes local things to go off the rails, destabilizes the local reality, that kind of thing, due to its nature. So you actually have to play it careful with the ships. Like, yeah, you can import all this stuff from your meta progression, but it's like, if you import too much too fast, then guess what? You've got a warp storm. Have fun. Something like that, to put it into 40k terms. So it's like, that would be a way to inherently restrict ship designs to try and play nice and incentivize you to mix and match a bit more. I don't know. It's a very loose concept as far as I've described it. I had more in depth in mind. 4,000 odd titanium locally, that would be nice to have. I'm considering just setting up shop around here. Let's check where I am centrally. Am I central, roughly, in this cluster? I am central, roughly, in this cluster. There is a nickel asteroid close, relatively close by behind me, actually. Let's lock onto that one. .2. That's doable, actually. Let's back up a little bit here. Because remember, mining drones have a range of 800. So let's shuffle to about here. This should be pretty good. Aim towards the planet and the sun, because I do like to have the planet as the backdrop out of the station control window. And then we're going to have found ourselves a new station somewhere around here. Oh, there we go. And you, sir, are going to be my shipyard. Aha. As I suddenly clipped through. Ignore that. It was just reality bending to my whims. It's no problem. Let's see. We need more of these parts out of here. I told you I had plenty of parts knocking around. And we've got all the stuff on the other stations as well to deal with. But for now, I just need to configure this thing and get this one started. Okay, slightly modified. Actually, I just need to reconfigure this slightly, because I renamed the wrong things. Nexus Shipyard. And this one is actually the player dock. Because I think I want to design this one from the ground up, involving newer bits and pieces, which means I don't have everything I need just yet involved here. Let's throw in those two real quick. And this one's going to be configured to give me reinforced glass. Though actually I will also need on here as well, which will give me some silicon wafers. Yeah, let's go for half and half split right now, I suppose. Yeah, sure. There we go. Of course, this won't work straight away, considering the fact this base is still currently unpowered, but it will, as soon as I rectify that, give me the ability to actually start using stuff from in here. Absolutely. But yeah, due to the fact that we are currently gathering materials together for, you know, actually sorting things out, I've put a block on here with a temporary mining hub. This will be sorting out little things like steady power supply and stuff like that. So you can have that stack of fuel I brought over. More set of those. I'm going to have to make a supply run actually to go and get more materials already, I can tell. Wait, no, I left some supplies in here, I think. Yes, I did. But the glass means I can actually start to build with corridors and corner pieces from the word go as well, which is why I decided to configure it that way. But got to remember, I do need, after all, to get my hands on circuit-based research before I can really get solar panels out, and then those will need advanced materials as well. So this will be sorting that for power, so this will keep it running. What else do we have locally? Let's have a look-see. We've got a tiny amount of silica. Scoop that up. We've got not much water, not much titanium, so water is going to be a concern, actually. We want to get that research rolling sooner rather than later. Let's actually check that out. Ooh. Oh, that's a full list of my stuff if I press Y. Okay. Research. Okay, so computation side is done by making circuits. Circuits are made from silicon wafers and magnetic coils. That is also fine. Actually, my silicon nickel mine would be the perfect place for actually getting that research rolling, wouldn't it? Rather than relying on the power supply at this base. I should have thought of that one. Let's pop on over there and reconfigure the research lines a little bit, because I'm currently doing the last bits of research possible for purely material science. I want to go to my beta. Notice by the way, INS and T next to these. So I have kind of noted what's nearby as a major resource. Ah, self-destruct button. That's why that is. Okay. No. Actually, I didn't configure the third mine on this one to mine stuff. I probably should. What do I want locally? Actually, what will deplete fastest? There's not much titanium, but there is still plenty of titanium. Actually, I should probably filter first. Titanium. There we go. And that'll do its job. That'll do its job. Let's just very quickly, I think, if I've got the parts, run a line over to this silicon thing over here. There we go. Right, off to reconfigure some mines. Okay, here we are at Alpha. Ice, nickel, and silicon. 3 resource inputs, but there's only 2 mining drone spots currently available to it. So yeah, this is this needs to be adjusted a little bit. It's almost got all the titanium out of the local area, but for now there's just no internal space. So let's see. I need to free up the this slot. Yeah, I need to free up all this slot really. Let's go ahead and I can do this without automation as well, but this stuff does need processing, so I will go ahead and let the central processing hub deal with this. I just have to get past everything to make sure this is all working. So remember, this thing is very, very compact at the moment because I jammed it all into a single tile because I didn't want to expand off camera, really. Let's pull all that. So this drone bay is now empty. Very good. I'm going to pull a stack of those so that'll process us forward. We've got a box here full of like titanium plates. Let's pull some. Yeah. And I actually have my ship fabricator do a bit of work as well. Let's fabricate some of that into hull panels because we're going to need some of that. There we go. Actually, what we're going to need more is light frames because we have automated production going on of panels. That's something else that is another reason to try and centralize it all. It's just like... yeah. We're going to need to try and deal with some of this stuff. I don't have a reliable source of nickel currently mining. Did I leave parts behind in the customization storage? I might have done. Though we only need 10 for that. We do need it for belts. Oh, let's cancel that. Okay, we need to get nickel sorted out, basically, from the word go. Let me through, please. Let me through, please. Let me through, please. This place is very congested. Jam in some hull plates. And those because we're going to try and put another mining spot on this. And then, yeah, let's quickly update this design a little bit. Scrap that one. That's the one that was doing titanium. Another box. 2 mining spots. This one's dealing with ice. We're going to need a spot for cross-loading materials. Oh, that's a question. Do we actually want to have... I don't know. Well, actually, flat out, we're going to need multiple docks anyway, because we've got multiple resource types being filtered around here. That's a problem. So we're going to need to have an expansion here as well. 3 mining sites, and then we're probably looking at like 3 docks flat out for exporting the different materials. Unless the industrial dock allows to set like both more input feeds and allows us to set how much actually goes into it. I'm going to have to research that and find out. But for now, that's just how it's going to be, and it's looking kind of janky, but that is also kind of how it is. But that said, we're going to... this is not a permanent mine, this is like a bit of an odd one. So it's, you know... What's the armor plating? Press space... so we can add roofs to it. 30 points of hull for 5 hull panels. Better value than those, but it's also only got the one shape at the moment, I think. But yeah, we can give these things factory roofs, apparently. That actually does have some nice detail work on it. Look, it's got a little communication dish and everything in the middle of it. But right now I'm still in material shortage kind of mode, so let's apply those changes, exit, and we need to get this further configured. Ah, good. Pulling a stack of material out there and a few stacks out of here has drained these a little bit, and this will help me move stuff around a bit more. That's all okay so far. That said though, this entire bit needs to be torn up as well, because remember, I want this one to not be doing titanium. This place is almost out of titanium. Speaking of, let's get these let's set these other mining spots to go off and get what's left of the titanium supply. And then I'll tell them to do what they're meant to be doing properly. Another question though is one going to be enough? Considering the distances involved, maybe 2 minings of each type, and that means expanding the station infrastructure further. Or I could do something really controversial and install an elevator. Though that actually working properly will depend on actually getting the item elevators, which is a couple of techs in. I need to do 200 of the other science type first. Well, this base is going to get a bit chunkier, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. Oh good, you're done. Okay. And so it begins. Okay, so I need some nickel plates for this. Duly noted. I didn't stop to think about that one. Okay, so I do need some nickel. But we have processing going on of nickel into cables, shunting through an underfloor conduit, which, as I noted last time, it's not thick enough for me to have that. Then that's going there. Let's disable that port there, actually, because that's meant to be just for that. Then that's going to need nickel as well. But then this one here is configured for basic circuits. This is not load balanced or anything like that. This is meant to be just like doing its own thing, more or less. Actually, let's shunt the titanium into here because this area is now mined out for titanium. I've got a tiny bit left in my reserve, that's okay. And then we're going to go ahead and refine this up in here. Because as I said, nickel plates we are kind of out of. So do all of them. And that I'll just jam into the actual processors over there, just so that this one's focusing purely on nickel. So, already it's quite a bit more spacious. I mean, this temporary refinery, since this is going to be fully automated, basically, as soon as I've got the materials shipped out, because I've also got all this in here as well, this will be sorted as soon as I can afford to do the belts and things. Which is actually a slight concern. That said though, I think having multiple mines operating on a target resource for a mining station is actually definitely the way to go, just because of general throughput. Especially if the mines have any kind of distance to go for. So yeah, they're probably going to have to tear this one down and rebuild it again once I've actually got the shipyard working properly. And when that's ready to take over, but for now this thing is doing what it does, as I keep accidentally doing that. Something that would be nice though actually is if there's like a toggle in here, it's like click this to lock ports, so that way you can't accidentally, as you saw me there, like my mouse happened to be over here and I accidentally disabled the ports. Like if the machine has got that setting in there where you can't accidentally change it with a misclick, that would actually be kind of nice, I think. But then I'll keep doing what it's doing. That is... yep, that's doing fine. And we do not have our first of those yet. Actually, that's a good question. Why? Oh, yeah, because we don't have the belt to feed in any more of those silicon plates. But yeah, that's the general plan though for this one. I've renamed the outflow ports. I just need the nickel to actually make the connections, and then that'll be ready to go. So, not much else to report on this one. Just getting it all sorted out is going to help. Though that said, I can't actually do research yet, due to the fact that while I've got this one starting to be set up for researching... there we go. This one's being set up to research the computer science. Remember, I scrapped out the research for material science. And there we go, that's starting to load. Excellent. There is, of course, also the slight question of like how I'm going to export from here to these three over here. I've got to get a belt through here from the ice. I've got a belt from both of those. This one's okay. This one I realise I kind of had a slight space issue. Plus, silicon's a bit more complex because it refines into two separate materials anyway. So I think what I need to do is just like that. Scrap that one. Jam the silicon I've got off it into there. And then I'll go through here. But then the problem is... oh good, they changed that. I seem to recall that you couldn't actually walk through these tunnel entrances. They were actually solid. I guess they changed that. Good, because they were getting in the way a bit. Toggle that port. Yeah, some kind of UI interface inside the thing to control port access, I think, would not go amiss. But there we go, this is going to be it for silica. There's going to be one over here for this one as well. Again, I'm out of nickel plates. I'm just out of nickel. I can probably nick some out of these production lines, actually. No, I can't, because they're actually being used up. Nickel mining seems to be kind of slow in this location. I think it's because this station is positioned between three, so it doesn't actually have a station close to it. That's one slight drawback of this one. But hey, it's doing its thing. It's actually producing computer bits. And that's all I can really ask for at this point. So, let's go ahead and dig in for this. Servo motors are available. They require magnetics, so that's titanium and nickel to research those. I think the thing I want more than anything else, though, is... ooh, container would be nice to get. 50% item stacking for a ship that has it. Since I'm planning to start building ships this episode, that would actually be a good one to try and get, though 100 research is still a bit of a steep one. Solar power would also be great, though that requires capacitors and reinforced glass. So I think that one will have to wait on the shipyard becoming more functional. Let's go for... let's go for the storage containers, I think. Though that means we need to make a trip over to the titanium mine and actually get material sciences being researched as well. So let's pop over there real quick. I'm cruising up to mine beta, and I'm slightly confused by something actually. I've noticed my container module research is going up. Why am I confused by this? Well, usually if a game allows progress to proceed on a research task like this based on item inputs, then you'd expect, since I'm only providing half of the material requirement, research would cap out at 50%, right? But I just had a look, and for some reason my material science is climbing, even though I don't think I've got any material science labs around the place. Because remember, I literally just scrapped those out, so yeah, I'm not sure what entirely is going on there, unless I've already configured the titanium for doing that and I forgot, which I might have done. Let's see. Did I? No. I don't think I configured the shipyard for it either. So, I don't know where my material science is actually coming from. It's coming from somewhere, it's doing something though, but yeah, let's go ahead and actually check that then. I don't know what... I really don't know where that's come from. So, I need to tap into some of these material feeds. You were stockpiling all of the nickel around the place, which is good, considering the fact that I am short on it. Let's actually get some refining going. I'm out of coils. I need to actually process some of this stuff before I do. Let's pull out a stack from each. So yeah, I'm not totally sure why I was able to research that. Let's go to the next one though. Fairly important. Solar panels. It'll mean my stations at least can be untethered from relying on water as their fuel source. And we'll see how it goes. Process all of that, please, as fast as you can. How are you doing fuel-wise? You are 30. But you're doing okay for fuel right now. Again, material science has ticked up, though only by 1 this time. Did I? I didn't know. I scrapped all the science machines over at the other mine. Unless the game didn't realise that. Or there was a bank of research stored up or something. I don't know why that's happened, but because it seems to have stopped now. Okay, I've been watching a bit more. Notice that there's 0 material science progress now, while the other one's been going. So, yeah, I don't know where the extra came from. Whatever cause it though seems to have stopped. Let's go ahead and give this one a 3rd science lab, just speed it up a little bit, and then continue to hand feed with some extra bits. I think. Oh, I installed furnaces on this line as well because I've realised that having the raw nickel sitting around isn't actually helpful to me. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to tap this one over here, so both docks are supplying back into the research effort rather than just drawing only from one. There we go. And that'll be splitting all harvesting here of titanium to go into supporting the research, just to help it out. I'll give you a full stack of output. So yeah, I'm getting rid of some of these extra plates we've got knocking around from previously. And getting nickel plates is more useful flat out than having just nickel ore sitting around, because then I have to process it before I can do anything with it. Still got nearly 3,000 nickel nearby though, so this is going to be quite busy for some time, I think. In fact, I should probably just do that real quick. Yeah, I know, it's a bit of a botch job, but that'll give me a ton of storage space for nickel plates here to let this place just continue mining it. Though it doesn't seem to be having kind of issues. Actually, I'm using most of the power supply, 48 out of 51 to 55. So yeah, this thing's nearly tapping out in that regard. But, well, that's to be expected with all the research going on. Actually, this one is now running into a hull plate issue. Let's risk a brownout and go with an extra production line for hull plates to feed this. Accelerate! Go big or go home. The factory must grow. Yes. You'll make some more hull plates. Chown in there. And then just quite happily merge those two. Because we had 2 refiners, so now we've got 2 of them. And this is probably going to start issuing... Yeah. Oh, sorry, total consumption is 66 out of a 48 production. Yeah, this is slightly overloaded now. Oh, and suddenly I can't walk through that. Oh, wait, no, that's a splitter. I can't walk through splitters anyway. I guess that is how that is all going to be until I choose to do something like remove things. Right. Let's be getting on, because there is still something left I want to do. As I check my resources internally, I have got some... I wish I could have some more nickel. Let's actually not be lazy and fix this. And we'll fix it by moving the splitter a bit further back in the line. There we go. So, we still need to do the last thing, of course. As I realise I've got one of these furnaces not actually hooked up properly. Let's do that real quick. And just plunder the resources as well, so there we go. Yeah, so the last thing we need to do is, of course, the most important thing to do, which is the whole goal of this particular episode, which is the shipyard must start shipping. Yes. Pin the next shipyard so we know where it is, because this is my first time going back to it after building it. Both the mining sites are configured to mine what they want to mine. Though that said, of course, as I try to move past this rock, the other site is not currently configured to export the materials it's mining, mainly because I ran out of nickel. But they're both doing research. So I'm going to get access to solar panels relatively soon. But we need to do the lasting thing, and the most important thing, we need to pimp our ride. You know. A good spaceship game always allows for some customization of your ship. Though some are modular, like this one, some are just allow colour swapping. It's just like things where you can customize things and make them your own, always useful. But here we are. Thing is though, to actually start doing this, we need to actually start getting other things going. This area is out of silicon, which means that these should be loaded with stuff. It is. Right, let's remap this shipyard a little bit. As soon as I try to remember where my actual thing is. There it is. Right. Actually, question. Did they tweak this? So what I want is to pop that there. Yeah, okay, so it's no longer has to be loaded into that console anymore. We can actually have it in our inventory and it'll still work. Though another thing I want to test with this one is, can we run things through these glass corridors? We can. Okay, so these are not an obstacle to actually having machinery and stuff running through. That's good. I was afraid that it might prove to be the case, but it's not. So let's continue. We're going to need a bunch of space for factories. The other piece I need to test is this corner piece as well. So let's apply that again and go and check. As you do. Nice big windows. It doesn't have the square floor. Okay, so these corner modules you can't actually do anything inside of. Worth noting that, thank you. There's our ship over there, our starting ship. I guess a 3x3 hull pattern would be good, right? At least that's what I'm thinking, like a 3x3, just so that we've got our ship docking here. We don't want it to clip, so I don't want to move this one further up. But we don't. This is going to be a full bore, like. I keep pressing shift to drop. I don't want to do that. There we go. We've got the elevators, of course, which allow us to do another level, which we're probably going to need, honestly, on this shipyard as we get that fully sorted out. But I feel like my original thought, would be I'd have like a cross shape with corner modules fitted in, is actually going to be too small for what we want. So I think I will go ahead and expand it to a full 3x3 kind of thing. Yeah, this is what the thing I was going to try and press shift for, to not have to manually drag out each individual thing. Thank you, save. Then the central bits on each side, this is going to give me an absolute ton of space, will be a connection followed by another thing here, and then these will act as the docking hubs, which will handle the import and export of things. We've got 3 material types that will be flowing in and out. Well, flowing in, mainly. Actually, no, 4. We're going to need that elevator. We are going to need that elevator. We can't build an elevator yet, though, because we don't have servos. I'm actually thinking, do we actually want to have, like, 1 or 2 docking ports for inbound materials? The thing is, for AI drop-off, we would want to have, like, 1 would keep it simple, but each of these ports only has, like, 2 output flows, which is also kind of nice. But do we want to actually scale it? And then the question becomes, those industrial ports, what do they look like as well? So that's an unanswerable question at the moment. So I think what I should do is I should go ahead and continue connecting things up. This is kind of why I was like not wanting to do all this, because we're not quite there yet to build out the full scale. So I was like digging holes into this whole thing. Plus we need the whole plates for you know, getting our actual ship put together first as well. So we can't build out everything yet. So that's going to be left as it is for now. And then this is where the shipyard's going to be. Shipyard core. The shipyard expansion requires some lightweight frame and some hull plates. That's okay as well. Let's do one there for now. Oh, actually, we don't need that, do we? What we need is just that, I think. Yeah, we only need a connection point somewhere along the line for the shipyard. So we can indeed just have the dock near the front of the shipyard and then extend the shipyard out all over the place. Let's do it like that then. We don't need the multi-splitter for that particular direction. So add another corridor, shipyard, and then we'll actually go ahead and do things down this way. Now, something else we have to do, though, is we have to actually move our ship into position. So, give me a second while I just go ahead and redock ourselves. Okay. Yeah, this is looking alright, isn't it? I think the main body of the shipyard could do with having some extra bulk, though, but we'll get there when we get there. So, this is my shipyard, there's my dock, there's my ship. Let's go and actually customize our ship. Yeah. I've already just, I've just pulled all of the materials out of the ship, so there's nothing in the reactor, there's nothing in the fabricator, nothing like that. So we can freely scrap and move without having to worry about things. Something worth noting, though, is if we move the dock, the ship doesn't move with it, so that would actually cause problems. Let's see, the container is... Okay, that's... Okay, but we're going... This is my ship, and my ship we do actually want to have doing things like that as well. So first things first, let's go ahead and scrap out the reactor. This is just a hull panel, hull piece there. Do we want to massively stack the ship from the word go? Not so sure I want to, because remember I've got access to ladders, so I can multi-tier this thing. But I don't have a very good there's not many things that act as an end cap, you see, because we've got this flat face at the front of it, and we don't have much to really put on those at the moment. The only thing that's really going on is like a small glass bubble like that, you see. So that's one drawback of trying to do a bigger ship. Plus the fact we are kind of, we do have a limit on our materials at the moment too. So let's go ahead and put in some functional blocks. Let's go and put in a storage. That is something we can walk through, right? So I think it is. Doesn't... I don't know, actually. Can you walk... The right way would be nice. Can you walk into the... No, the cargo block is a solid block. Okay, that is good to know about, actually. Actually, that gives me an option. Let's do that. Drop it down slightly. We'll have a cargo container on top, and then we'll go from there. So there we go. That'll do. I had to pop in and out, just like getting things fabricated and stuff like that. Not really included much armor. The only place I can really put it, I think, right now with this configuration is if I just side mount it around the cockpit, but I don't want to restrict the cockpit views, so I haven't done that. Unless I can side mount it in there, I cannot because it doesn't clip through like thrusters do. Okay, so got the existing text that you've seen. I've extended the core of the craft forward, as you saw. And I've actually side-mounted 2 sets of plasma blasters here, so I've got heavy weaponry. I've got a mining laser up front, tractor is still midships, and then I've also mounted 2 cargo containers on top. One was 50% increase, so stacks of ore were at 75. I said, you know what, might as well go in for that. Since I can't get up there anyway, I put another container on the back here at the top, so that's now stacks of 100 for ore. And down below, we have another housing point, so we've got equally aligned thrusters, and we got the option for an extra drive in here, so either another power core or a FTL drive can go in here, but for now there's also a window at the front, but that can be expanded forward as well for more things. And this is my ship. It has been slightly upgraded. Very nice. Slightly upgraded, and for some reason it now tells me that the mission is complete. Now, what needs going there is, it says pin that, build a mining base. I've already done that. Go away. So, is my ship out here now? It might look better when it's got big thrusters, and of course the plan is, of course, to have cargo ships as well to pull from the mines. But we'll get onto logistics and sorting all that out next time, as the shipyard will truly become awake. For now, though, this ship has, it's now got 8 engines fitted to it, for better or worse. And we need to see how that's going to go. So, let's go ahead and undock and fly. 50, boosting to 100. Not too bad. Now, can I manually select my weaponry? I don't think so. I think all my weapons will fire. Yeah. All my weapons fire at once, so there's not separate weapon controls as far as I know. What do I need? I could do with a bit of nickel, I suppose. Punt ourselves out that way. And how do we do with mining? Very fast mining, actually. Way faster than my actual stations and mining drones are. So I'm glad I installed extra containers, but it looks like a good thing to do would actually be to have a mining ship kind of thing going around to be able to let me do manual mining. That'd be a great way to get big doses of resources in the word go. I should also check my tech because, as you see, I've researched a better logistics. So, as part of actually getting the shipyard fully operational, I think I really want to get the item elevators going. This one requires servo plates before it can be available, but item elevators are also require servo motors. So yeah, we do need to get some manufacturing sorted out, but that'll be for another time. Excuse me, just need to clear my throat a little bit as we go into dock. So, this has been Iron Mark III. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It helps out me, helps the channel, give me those virtual headbutts I oh so crave. I don't like that I've not got anything going on with these bits here, though. Actually, no, we got... we can do some decorating around the place, but it's not got a snap to, notice. It's got 90-degree turning, but it's not got snap to, so it's just like kind of... Yeah, maybe I'll try and decorate, but hopefully they have more stuff there. Though something else that also seems to be missing is like vertical connection pieces going above and below the flat plane of a station. That might be nice, but yeah. Hope you enjoyed the show. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps out me, helps the channel, give me those virtual headbutts I oh so crave. And I'll catch you all some other time. Actually, a specialised mining ship would be absolutely nuts for getting materials, but I would need to have some kind of dock configured for rapid offloading of materials rather than do it all by hand. Maybe that's something to do in a bit, but yeah. See you all later.